doing something a little different today. We're going to be doing it on Facebook Live as well. So we'll see how this goes. Might have to do a couple retries. All right, here we go. So this will be interesting. I've been doing this for a couple times now. It might bog my computer down a little bit, actually. So we will see how this goes. Recording a podcast. I have kind of a so-so podcast I do. Pretty low budget. I don't really know how to work the Anchor very well, but yeah, it works. I get the message out, and that's what matters. Then also, I'm recording on YouTube. Like I said, I might really bog my laptop down. So if you're one of my friends and you're watching this, shoot me a text and let me know if it's horrible, and we'll stop the live. But otherwise, we're gonna go with it. All right. So I've never gone live from my laptop, so this is interesting. Okay, so here we go. Talking about how ignorance can be bliss. I always kind of said that. There we go. Hey, welcome to the 1% Better Daily Podcast. My name's Naomi, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, is ignorance bliss? And it reminds me of this story that I heard probably 20 years ago, maybe longer. I'm a little bit older, and I heard it from an Air Force chaplain. I was in Civil Air Patrol when I was younger, and this story just always hit home for me. I got off the phone with my dad, actually, and the story always makes me think of him and kind of amped up and wanted to talk to you a little bit about today. Maybe you've heard it. I guess it's a parable. I thought maybe it was a true story, but it's like a business person's parable. Call it the hot dog seller, the man that sells great hot dogs, whatever you want to say. But basically, there was this older man. He didn't see really well, so he couldn't read the newspaper. This was, back in the day for you youngsters out there. And he didn't hear really well, so he didn't listen to the news, no podcasts or anything like that. So he didn't really know what was going on in the world, right? He was just kind of just happily doing his thing. Well, he had this hot dog stand, right? It's on the highway, just made like a food cart, and he just loved selling hot dogs. He had promotions all up down the highway. Man, he sold great hot dogs, and he sold a lot of them. He was doing really well. And his son was going to college, and he was a businessman, going to probably business college or whatever. And his son was coming to visit him on vacation, and the dad was thinking about, upgrading his business, maybe expanding, buying another food cart or whatever. And his son goes, "Haven't you been following the news, Dad? Like, we're in a recession. Everything's scarce. We can't find hot dogs, can't find hot dog buns. The world's on the brink of war." I don't remember the story. I'm kind of making it up as I go, right? The gist of it's here. Everything's going bad, Dad. Like, you cannot expand. The father thought to himself, well, my son's going to college. He's a businessman. He's smart. He's young. He reads the papers and he listens to the news, the radio. He must know what's going on. So he ends up taking out all his signs. He stops buying as many hot dogs, as many hot dog buns, and overnight his sales plummet. And he's like, goes to his son, like, "You know what, son, you're right. We are in a recession." And the moral of the story is, it's not that he was in a recession necessarily. It was that he followed fear. He was in this fear scarcity mindset that his son instilled in him that, hey, things aren't going well. I got to shut down business. And he lost this business more because of this mindset. He took down his signs. He stopped providing a service. And to be honest with you, I've always kind of lived my life, I say, under a rock, in a cave. I don't really know what's going on in the world. I'm usually pretty happy. And when we start to see the news, and it's good to know what's going on, it really is. I'm not saying living in a rock under a cave, whatever, is a good way to live your life, but it leads you to not be as afraid, right? I don't really know what's going on. There's a war? Okay, that's cool. I go about my life living it happily because, I'm not really afraid of it. And okay, there are things that you need to be aware of and things to be afraid of, but at the same time, living your life without fear is the way to go. Maybe you're going to apply for a job in the oil business and you don't know what's going on in the world right now. Maybe you fill up the tank, like, summertime, it's $5 a gallon, whatever. And then everyone's telling, oh, it's going to crash. The oil market's going to crash. And you have this dream of going to work in the oil field or whatever, and you just got your dream shattered. And, you could have gone in there and done great, but you all of a sudden have this fear. And so it's kind of this whole living your life waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I am definitely guilty as charged for that a lot of times. not necessarily like the world's aspect as far as like my life. And it's not the way to live. It's living in anxiety. It's living in fear. It's living in anticipation. And you need to live your life in the moment more so. You know, um, again, I'm not saying my life set of living, in ignorance is the way to go, but um, the whole shoot your shot, hope for the best. If it doesn't work, you just come back and try again. You know, um, you buy a second hot dog stand, it doesn't take off, so you just dial it back. Go back to just one hot dog stand. It was working for you. And so that's what I got for you today. Kind of a short one. Just keep thinking about that story. It's kind of comes to my mind a lot. And so whenever I talk to my dad, I always think about that. Like, Dad, it's okay. The world's going to keep going. Um, we've been through recessions. We've been through the Great Depression. He's much older than me, obviously, and he's lived through that. And that's the past. But guess what? We survived. We lived. And one thing I always like to tell my clients, my friends, is when we're having a really bad day, have you had a bad day before? Well, yeah. How'd that go for you? What do you mean? You're still alive, right? Well, yeah. So we are resilient people. We're resilient, and we're gonna make it through it. Whatever's going on, we will make it through it. And we just can't live our lives in fear. So that's all I got for you today. If you like this, feel free to drop a like, follow over on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you later. Bye. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook, I got my friend's shirt. She doesn't really sponsor me, but I'm sponsoring her. Kind of like, so I just wanted to give her a little plug there. I'll try to put the link in the post if I can figure it out. I'm not great with technology, but thanks for joining me. Let me know what you think. I probably won't do this a whole lot. I'm not very consistent on the podcast. It's kind of whenever I feel the urge to, or something kind of fires me up, though. It's kind of sporadic. It's called the 1% Daily podcast. There's a couple of them out there. I'll drop the Anchor, Steam, whatever link in the, I'm tired, the description as well. All right, see ya. Okay, YouTube. Whew. All right, that was rough. So hey, here's a T-shirt. I don't think you can see it on Facebook, but I'll drop it in the description there. So thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you later.